Just show up so we don't get fired.
Oh my god, dude.
Oh man.
Yeah. Oh yeah, bro. Is that the funky music?
Turn it down. What is everybody? Welcome to the Losers Lounge.
Bro, this is so cool.
Oh gosh. Wow. Presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app and use the code DNVR365 when you sign up. Choose your offer, find out why, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. We're not only in the Losers Lounge, fellas, we're in the Toyota Losers Lounge.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
Shout out. Toyota. Front range Toyota stores. Toyota, the official vehicle of DNVR. No way to sugarcoat it. No way around it. The Wolves beat down the Denver Nuggets, our beloved Denver Nuggets, snapped the streak, bullied them, sent a message, and the Nuggets are going to have to lick their wounds before getting back on the court. I got Harrison Wynn in the building.
There's nothing good about this day. It's snowy outside. Roads suck. Nuggets sucked. This is a terrible Sunday.
We had a good crowd at the bar too,
I know.
man.
Can I
There
tell you
was
something?
energy for this. There was people that were ready.
Can I improve your day?
Yeah.
Please. It's Saturday. No, it's not even Sunday.
That's actually great.
Oh, yeah, it's
That's actually
Saturday.
great. We got
See?
a whole.
How is it Saturday?
We got a whole new. Yeah, I just gave you a weekend
I'll
day
take
back.
it. All
See?
right. I feel better already.
See?
Ooh, I like this. Over here, D-Line Co. The man with the optimism.
That's right, guys.
Just gonna smoke a little rip a heater.
We're back. We're back into the.
Don't let YouTube see this. I think they ban videos if there's.
We're
cigarettes
back
in the video.
to a limp, wet cigarette version of me, guys.
Doesn't even smoke, but
I mean, what is?
but
that
you
to say?
might as well start. Start now.
Yeah, fire it up.
Superstar Dev rounds out the show.
Man, we've seen better days. I hate being in the Losers Lounge, and we hadn't been here in a long time, and it's cold. It's cold in here.
It is cold. You know what is
Sucks
funny
here.
is we've had some losers lounges this year. I mean, the Nuggets have been up and down at a certain point, but it's almost like whatever the roller coaster. This one was the high drop, so it was a higher fall. I think that's what makes this so bad. That and the roads. You were right. The roads kind of suck.
I mean, I'm just looking at them right now.
I know. We
They
got
don't
a
look
long,
good.
long drive home. All right, fast breakdown. I promise it'll be fast. First note tells the story. Jokic, great start, but Gobert and Randall, also a great start. You guys remember the beginning of this game? Those two scored every time. Or those three, really.
Yep.
Both teams scoring every time. Wolves were on fire and scoring easy. That's the thing. This Timberwolves team is not a good offense. They struggle to score. Tonight, you would think they were the best offense you've ever seen in your life, making it so easy. The play that really set the tone, for, in my opinion, because there was a lot of like, all right, Nuggets not playing well, just keep it close. Julian Strawther got a offensive foul, screening foul on the last, what should have been the last possession of the quarter. Those plays, man, are such killers because Denver, I think it was 7 points or something like that. You can cut it to 5, whatever. You lost a quarter. Instead, you give them an opportunity. They score again and they go up 40-31. That feels like you got killed in the first quarter as opposed to, whatever. And it's unforced turnovers, unforced fouls. You can't win games when you have them. Unforced second chance points. Denver gave up all of that today. 40-31 Wolves, and it felt bad. Jamal did start to find a rhythm in the second quarter. He had it going. That was one nice thing. Aaron Gordon doesn't look right. That was one of my notes, and it's one of the notes of the story of the game. This is a big team. Denver can be a big team, especially when AG's there, but he did not look very healthy tonight, and it's a little worrying. And the Wolves just started bullying the Nuggets. 71-60 at the half. Nuggets still connected, but they were getting bullied. You didn't feel good about it. Third quarter, what happens? First play, turnover, fast break foul. The second one, by the way, on Michael Porter of the games. Fast break, what do you call it? Take foul or whatever? Clear path foul.
I think is technically
so
the
not
term.
only do you have the ball, how are you going to start it? Turnover, and you give a clear path foul. And then Anthony Edwards just made it look easy. That third quarter was a disaster. 109-91 going into the fourth quarter. I took no notes in the fourth. Was it bad? I didn't see. I took
Wasn't
a little break.
good.
Took a
Was
little break.
not good. I
walked
mean,
around.
5 minutes of garbage time. That's a lot
It was really a
for
whole
a
fourth
Nuggets
quarter.
I would
and
say
Michael
it was,
Malone coach team.
48 minutes of garbage time.
They were down 18 going into the fourth. The whole fourth, you can come back from that, but I mean, not really. Whole fourth quarter was garbage time. All right, time for Red Hawk. We're not going to be all sadness, but we will be a little sadness today. Red Hawk Roofing, big takeaways.
I'm glad you said that right before I got started.
Dev has some positivity for you, right, Dev?
Absolutely. My Red Hawk Roofing big takeaway is I kind of understand what the Lakers feel like
Oh,
and
no.
the Lakers fans.
Oh, no.
You truly feel like you have the better team, but for some reason you just cannot figure it out against that exact squad. And the Timberwolves have not looked good. They have been struggling for quite some time right now, and it doesn't matter if they're playing the Nuggets. They seem to just have their number. They seem to know exactly how to defend them. People are stepping up that are not typically playing in those same type of ways, and the Nuggets truly adjust their gameplay when they play against the Timberwolves. I think it's super important for you to win these type of games because you really do get a mental edge when you feel like you own a team. And right now, it feels like the Timberwolves own the Nuggets.
133 points. They scored 135 on the Bulls back in November. This is the second most points they've scored in a game now against the Denver Nuggets. What a bummer. And by the way, they scored 119 in that matchup earlier in the year, so it's like their offense is not good, but it is good against Denver, which is a real fat drag. D-line?
Fat drag.
It's a fat drag, dude.
Take a fat drag of
off
that
my
cigarette.
wet
God.
lip cigarette. Here's my big takeaway from Red Hawk Roving. I think that this was a terrible job by Michael Malone today.
Yeah, he had a rough one.
I think that this was probably the worst game Michael Malone has coached in a long time. He pushed 0 buttons.
Push my buttons.
I guess in some ways you can be like, oh, he's being cagey, he doesn't want to show too much.
In January.
I'm looking for silver linings, man. I'm looking for if you wanted to not go along with the prevalent thought, but like Julius Randle, Dev called it in the pregame. At least Dev made money off of it, I assume. But just watching Julius Randle bully smaller guards that were forced to guard him, later on, probably didn't matter because AG wasn't looking right. But why it even started that way? The Nuggets got into a hole immediately because they were very clearly at a size disadvantage, which is like you're not relying on hot shooting. You're just relying on Julius Randle just absolutely taking whoever, Christian Braun, Russell Westbrook, Jamal Murray, to the rim and just putting it in from 2 feet away. They didn't make any adjustments of any kind. It was pretty annoying. That's what you hope to find in a game like this. Okay, cool. We're getting beat up. I mean, the Nuggets didn't show up today.
Yeah.
They just didn't show up. But also, you want to see effort coming from somewhere, even if it's from the coaching staff.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that it just felt like it was on autopilot, and they just got smoked.
Oh my gosh. Can I push back on this a little bit? And I might be wrong on this take. I don't mind that the Nuggets started their lineup the same way. I don't mind.
I don't either.
I don't mind that they played
It was the
small
right call.
because it had been working, and I do think we knock Malone sometimes. For adjusting to other teams too much sometimes, and I do think there's a world where you come out here and you see does that lineup. There is a strength to being more nimble, quick, whatever. Let's see what happens. The answer is no, it doesn't work. And I'm not surprised. Honestly, I'm not surprised. But I am glad that we saw it so that we don't wonder. And so there's a part of me that at least was like, you know what, just let's see what happens. You play them 2 more times. You'll hopefully play bigger that time. So I can see both sides, even if it went horribly.
Yeah. My Red Hawk Roofing big takeaway. Look, it's tough to be mad at Nikola Jokic for everything he does on a nightly basis. The historic games, the Wilt Chamberlain numbers, the godlike impact he has on a basketball court. But, he came out and scored 13 points in the first quarter, shot 6 of 7 right off the bat.
Yeah.
And then didn't really hear from him much the rest of the game. And I don't know what was going on. It was weird. He kind of just slid into the shadows. Didn't really go at, Gobert the Timberwolves made some adjustments definitely, but didn't really play with that same aggressive mindset that he had in the first couple minutes of the game. Didn't take a shot in the second quarter, and I kind of get that. That was Jamal Murray's quarter. That's when he really started to go off. But then, in the second half, he never really attacked. The Nuggets didn't look to really attack with him, and you just didn't really feel Nikola Jokic in the second half. And again, it's tough to get that mad at him. But this was, ABC game, a big game, the Nuggets' first real test in a while. And maybe it was a little bit of a reality check, but you needed more from Jokic today. And it sucks.
Probably a bottom 3 game of him for the year.
Yeah,
he
probably.
has 20 and 11, 20 points, 11 assists, just 3 rebounds, 7 turnovers. And to your point, this wasn't a game where if you watched for the first time, you weren't like, man, that guy's dominant. Like, the texture of the game is all him. My Red Hawk Roofing big takeaway is, yes, I think the Timberwolves own Denver until further notice. We talked about, could Game 7 be like Game 82? Team doesn't seem to feel that way. Because if you feel that way, that's not a game. That was not a game of like, these guys, this is our rival, whatever. It's rivalry week. This was not a game like that. And if it was, that's even more concerning. But what they do more than anything, they're physical. Remember the Nuggets got blown out by the Knicks earlier this year? Knicks are physical. They have guys that get into you. Denver seems to be really bothered by it. And I hate that. I hate that there are guys on this roster that when the game gets physical, second chance points, other teams grab them. And it's like, you could take losing, a team out shoots you. This that happens. When a team bullies you, it's especially demoralizing. And tonight, and really in a lot of the matchups that Denver has lost against the Timberwolves over their last like 15, it's been that. It's been like, well, one team loves the physicality and it's kind of taking it to you. And one team is like getting the ball poked out of their hands and can't grab rebounds and secure them and can't score at the rim. This was just if I'm the Timberwolves, I'm back in the locker room saying that team's soft, man. We can bully them. Even if they outscore us or whatever, they're afraid of us because we're more physical. And unfortunately, tonight it was as true as it had been in basically any game over the last 15 or so.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can say Minnesota is arguably the toughest matchup for the Nuggets in the league. That's just kind of how it seems over the last couple years. The physicality, the length they have. Anthony Edwards, the Nuggets can't guard Anthony Edwards. He had 2 40-point games in that playoff series last year, went off against them earlier this year, had an easy night tonight. And, I mean, he just kind of owns this game offensively and defensively, even at times. Murray got off today, but like he imposed his will defensively in that playoff series last year. And just like they have a good game plan against Denver. They play physical, they get up into them, they rattle them a little, they throw them off their game. And I mean, it's a really tough matchup. And like if you're Minnesota, you're totally right. You got to be so confident going against the Nuggets.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing is the confidence that comes from Minnesota. They won this game, and they've been doing this in every single facet of the game. They're shooting the 3-ball better. They're grabbing more rebounds. The ball is popping a lot more. Their superstar just truly thinks that nobody on the team can guard them. Their bench shows up. There's multiple guys on the bench that are showing up, and that's while making a huge change. They went from Karl Anthony Towns to Julius Randle, and nothing dropped off. They're still like, okay, we're going to have Rudy Gobert guard them with one-on-one coverage and just try to outwork them or just try to make them work in different ways, and we're going to give them different looks throughout the game. They really do have an edge. They think that the Nuggets are soft, and the Nuggets just lay down against them. So like that's a big thing. That would be a tough matchup for the Nuggets. They don't want to see that matchup, and it's simply because they don't think that they're as good as them.
Yeah, it's crazy because the story for the Minnesota Timberwolves more often than not this season has been like Julius Randle doesn't fit.
Yeah.
But Julius Randle's the reason they killed the Nuggets today. Yeah. Like he just got off. He murdered the Denver Nuggets early on.
True.
And really set the stage for them to be just bullied the entire game. They were bullied the whole game. It was so terrible.
72 points in the paint for the Timberwolves tonight.
It was like every time Nuggets tried to get into the paint, 3 guys packed it. They couldn't do anything. And then they'd kick it out for a 3. It worked sometimes, worked some other times it doesn't. But then the fact that the Timberwolves were just getting to the rim every time down, that's like what the Nuggets do. That's what we do. That's our thing, man.
I know.
Yeah, this was a bad game. This was a really bad game. I think that there were a lot of effort issues, frankly. Like, I don't know that this is necessarily systemic, but it's not encouraging. It's definitely not encouraging. I would think that, if this was a game that really, truly mattered, the Nuggets would have approached it in a different way. But, they were riding high. I don't know if you remember us some 2 hours ago.
Yeah, I do
Insufferable.
remember that.
Insufferable. We're
Too close to the sun.
We're going to scrub that tape, man. We put too much out there. The Nuggets humbled us in a way that I didn't realize we needed. I feel whole again. We're back, baby. We're back to not being back. That's where we thrive.
Nuggets, ABC game. You're right, man. This could have. We talked about, man. They're 1 week
We're
away
like-
from
We're
everybody's
like,
gonna.
the national media doesn't give us any respect, and they watch it. They were like, yeah, we don't respect that. Why would
so
you?
True. It's so true. Sadly, narrative game for sure. Being on national television,
We
total
stink.
stinker.
We suck.
Dominated start to finish. But all right, we're gonna take a break. On the other side, we'll start getting into individual players because I do think.
Yeah, dude. We haven't throttled the Nuggets enough.
Can't
Let's do
wait
it.
for that.
Well, there are some players I think have very
What if we
interesting
draft
takeaways.
best brands of cigarettes? What do you think? I'll go first. Whatever this one is.
Got to get away from that.
Shout out to Live Well D-line. Maybe you should switch to that tonight. Live Well, they have 25 convenient Colorado locations. All of them have premium selections of cannabis and expert service that awaits you. You walk into a Live Well, you will get treated right. They'll take care of you. They will point you in exactly the right direction, and they'll get you what you came in there for. Live Well, they proudly offer a price match guarantee, ensuring you get the best value by matching local competitors' prices on eligible products. You can go to livewell.com and you can shop online. You can reserve your products there, and then all you have to do is go in store for a quick pickup. But when you do, you just tell them DNVR25. That's the code DNVR25. You're going to get 25% off one regular priced item when you go in store and pay there. So you can shop online, livewell.com, pick out what you want, then go in store to any of their 25 convenient Colorado locations. Use the code DNVR25 in store to get 25% off one regular price item. Restrictions apply. Check out Live Well today. Also check out Breck Distillery, Breckenridge Bourbon Whiskey.
They have really good whiskey, man.
It's the best, the official bourbon and vodka of the Denver Broncos. You can check out their 2024 Broncos Bourbon Blends on the shelves.
A whiskey, like a nice whiskey on the rocks in a cold day like this. You know, you sit and look out the
Absolutely.
window.
A day that's getting colder and colder by the minute.
I got my little bird feeder that comes right up to the window. You know, I sit and just hang and have a drink with the birds.
Oh, sweet.
the
Not at all
birds.
depressing.
A little finch. It's not depressing.
Oh,
at
that's
all.
what I
Those are
said. That's what I
God's
said.
creatures.
That's what I said. That's not depressing even a little bit.
Even
You're
a
sitting
little
by
bit.
yourself.
The coyote will come by every now and
not
then.
drinking by yourself, drinking with the birds. I look-
Is that worse than by yourself? Breck Distillery, the world's highest distillery, founded in 2008, known for their amazing blended bourbon whiskey, a high rye mash American
You
style
ruined my hobby.
whiskey.
Now that made me happy. Now I'm like, wait, am I lonely?
Breck Bourbon, one of the most highly awarded craft bourbons in the U.S. Use the code DNVR for free shipping on all orders over $99. DNVR, use that code for free shipping if you buy more than $99 worth of Breck Distillery. Go to BreckenridgeDistillery.com.
Kel, you know what I'm talking about, man. Like at the
Yeah, yeah.
cabin, nice little winter scene, and
That's
you just have a
definitely-
little whiskey.
This is the guy you're looking for normalcy and
I'm
normalcy
trying.
check.
Kel knows what I'm talking about.
I will say, don't follow my drink.
He's like, Kale, it's normal to wake up on Colfax face down covered in yours or someone else's vomit, right? Like, that's normal.
We're going to start most depressing and work our way towards most encouraging.
Okay,
so the
let's
show
go.
gets better as it goes on. You know,
I
We'll do
love it,
that,
dude.
yeah. And
Let's get
for
bit-
me, the most concern, I shouldn't even say depressing, more concerning. The most concerning thing, it's Aaron Gordon. Wasn't
Yeah.
even like he was bad tonight. 13 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 blocks. Like that's 2 of 5 from 3. You'll take that most nights. But man, he doesn't look healthy. It has nothing to do with his play. It just has everything to do with he couldn't dunk that one. Like he vertical dunk, he had to like throw it over the rim.
Yeah.
He just does not look healthy to me. And man, I don't. He took the rest. He's already playing. It just looks at it, and that's concerning.
Yeah, it's concerning, like for him physically, like because of the long term effect. This was not a bad Aaron Gordon game
At all.
At all. And this is a matchup that is in his favor. He knocked down the 3 ball. He scored in transition. He had a dunk, which I was excited about. I think that's when he got hurt. They also pushed him a little bit more. He played 24 minutes in the game. He's been playing, about 15, 20 every single game. So he did have a bit more, and then that's when he got injured. But it does suck that it's been this long and he still is going through the injury, the exact same injury. And it's like, at what point do you sit him again? Or just like make sure that he's rested so that you can have him for the entire year. That's the part that's not getting me. I'm wondering if it's not only physical, but it has to be some mental stuff too, that you're like, hey, you have to play through it, because they continue to run him out there. But I mean, I am encouraged that he is playing more, so he's like on the up and up. But you need Aaron Gordon if you really want to get a crack at winning the championship this year.
The scary part was that he started grabbing the back of his hamstring.
Yeah, it looked like his hamstring.
It wasn't even his calf.
But that's how this stuff is, though, right? Like, oh, my calf is sore, so I'm putting a little extra torque on my hand.
Whatever it is, yeah, it's not good. It's not good at all.
It looked like he hurt it on that dunk attempt.
Yeah, and he was limping, noticeably limping.
Yeah.
I think
They
that's
left
bad.
him in there, too. Like, he was
Yeah, that means he must have said, like, I'm okay.
It looked like Malone was like, "Are you good?" And he said, "Yeah, I'm good."
And he's like, yeah, I'm good. As he dragged one leg down the court, like, I don't know.
He's like, let's see, we're down 25. Stay in. What
Yeah,
are we doing?
I mean, look, we talked about the physicality and the toughness. I always feel like with this team, when Aaron Gordon has a good game and imposes his will, the Nuggets look like a physical team. And when he's not playing or he doesn't, they look like a soft team.
Yeah.
I really feel like that's the tipping point.
It is.
It's Aaron Gordon. And I mean, tonight he had some good moments, but he just wasn't the physical, tough, like dog that they need him to be. And it's probably because he still isn't 100%. And I mean, it sucks. They're really being careful with him. And, you know, it seems like he's still like teetering on the edge of aggravating an injury every game. So, I mean, it sucks. He definitely doesn't look like himself. But, I mean, you just look at this matchup. This is a matchup you need Aaron Gordon for.
Yeah.
You know, I'm okay with them sticking with the same starting lineup. I actually hope they continue to stick with that starting lineup even past today. But, I mean, you think about a potential playoff series again against these guys, Aaron Gordon's got to be a huge focal point of that series for the Nuggets to win.
100%. And I actually think tonight's game, the lesson for me is more that Denver is going to have to become situational in who they start. I just don't think the same starting lineup is the best against every team. I don't think the same rotation is the best against any team. I don't blame Malone for going to it because AG is on a minute restriction. You had been winning. I was curious just to see if Randall would be able to bully the smaller team. But you saw it, and so and I hope that the lesson from that is not, okay, let's just go back to what we did. It's like, hey, no, pick your matchups. Denver should be able to play 3 or 4 different ways depending on who's on the court. And just let them learn to adjust to those things. And I hope that's the takeaway.
Well, the important concept or the important thought here is like they saw it. Okay. Yeah. It did not work at all. And then they trotted it back out in the second half. Like, what are we doing here? Like, what are we doing? Like, they were just
what would we have liked them to do, though?
I would have liked that. So you can be on a minute restriction and still start. Like you can be on Randall. It's all about
that
trying
third
to get.
quarter was all about the tone. Like you have to set a tone.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
the start of the game was also about a tone. If you start the game out with Aaron Gordon or someone else, I think that just it plays a new part. I really do think that was the story of the game is the starters and how they. Julius Randle was going insane in the first half, and it was because he gets to play bully ball. But it's a ripple effect. It's not only on Russell Westbrook. Rudy Gobert is finishing around the rim because now Joker's having to try to step over there. He's getting scored on every single time. So now he had a horrible game defensively where it was just cone drill because of how they started out the game. They went into a hole. Russell Westbrook is working extremely hard to try to slow him down. He did not slow him down. He got a steal or two here, but Julius Randle's, he's able to score. While they slowed down Anthony Edwards in the first half with that lineup, he was going to get loose eventually. So I just feel like it loosened the defense. And then from there, the floodgates are open. There was nothing you could have done there. So I do wish that they would have. I think that it made sense to see if that's a look you could go with. I hope they never go back to that look in these specific matchup.
Yeah.
Just specific teams. That's it.
Cleveland is going to be one of those teams, obviously this one. There's a few.
It's
just only a few. That's why it's like, I'm not saying that it doesn't work. It's clearly been working. But sometimes you have to switch it up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the difference between getting the toughness of AG in the power forward position versus Michael Porter Jr. at the 4, it's like pretty substantially different.
That would become the concern number 2 for me. So we're moving slightly down. Michael Porter Jr., Julian Strawther both had really rough nights tonight. 1 of 7 from Julian Strawther from the 3-point line. He was a minus 12, 2 points in 18 minutes. Michael Porter's line's not that bad. 4 of 10, 3 of 6 from 3, minus 17. But we know this matchup was really brutal on him last year. He did not perform well. And I really do think, for all of Michael Porter's good qualities, toughness, just the game getting tough is not his strength. And tonight, you hope, he knew that coming in. It's not like it's like, okay, this matchup has been tough on me. I got to go meet it. And he just looks a little out of place there. And Julian Strawther, same thing. Like this game's a little too physical for what he's used to at this moment. And both of those guys have to find a way to elevate out of it. And I'm a little concerned.
Yeah. Michael Porter was awful today. I mean, he just looked a step slow. He looked hesitant. The physicality and just the Wolves defense took him out of this game completely, it seemed like.
2 fast break fouls, too. That's how you really
just
know you're out of it.
mental errors. Defensively, he was so bad, man. And he just looked out of it the whole game. And, yeah, I mean, it's something you worry about in these types of matchups with him. It's something we've worried about, for years. And at some point, it seems like he's over the hump.
Yeah.
It definitely seems like he's over the hump at times. And then he has these types of games that, remind you and just like, oh, maybe he's not. So he was probably the number one concern I had coming out of this game. Just, can you rely on him in these type of games? I don't know anymore. I thought I knew, but then you have these games and you're like, man, maybe not.
McDaniels, by the way, 13-8-4. It's like that; those two have to cancel each other out, or you have to win it. And tonight, that wasn't the case.
The Timberwolves confuse him more than any other team in the league. I truly think that, and it's because 1, they're physical. 2, he never wants to get the switch on Anthony Edwards because that's what they're aiming for every single time. So he's trying so hard not to that I feel like that becomes a game plan, and then McDaniels gets off or other people get off. And then I really don't think that he's mentally there a lot of times because he's overthinking, he's overplaying. He misses a couple shots and then he gets out of it. But he was horrible. He truly was bad in this game for the entire. They're talking about trading him off of this game again. One bad game. He's been playing well, but it's
We're
just
back.
There's nothing you can do there because it really was. It was that bad. I don't even know how you bounce back from that. Like you're excited you're not playing Minnesota. You're gonna have to play them in a matchup. So there has to be more of I gotta watch film there. I have to learn from that Minnesota squad and watch film on them. That's what I would say. Michael Porter Jr. needs to watch them the most because there's something there for him mentally and physically that he just can't get over it.
Yeah, I just think it's fit. They just beat him up. Yeah. It's just so easy for them to beat him up. He's just he's not. This is like when you see this out of Mike, and you're like, there's always a series or something where Mike can just be erased, and you're like, well, okay, Jokic and Murray, you got to pick this up, and Jokic was by his standards, a complete no-show today, which was so weird.
Yeah,
that's why I can't even get that mad. I'm like.
He missed a layup. He has not been missing layups.
No.
Wide open, just threw it over the rim. That's what I'm like, okay.
Who was that? Yoke or MPJ?
Michael Porter.
Oh, that's
the one that was wide open, and he just went with the little hook instead of taking it up strong. I mean,
but again, it was almost like he hears footsteps.
Totally.
And there was nobody.
It
there.
was like the Ben Simmons a little bit.
Yeah, I was like, oh crap, I got to get it up because you're gonna block or come over here, and it's like nobody's there, man. Just go up strong.
But I mean, it's just one game. I mean, I'm not gonna panic.
Yeah. One physical game though, and that's the point.
Yeah.
And same with Julian Strawther. Tonight, he just looked a little rattled. There were plays where you were like, man, this is playoff intensity or physicality that he's just not handling well. Number 3 on my personal list. I mean, AG, just because it's been so long. That's why he's number 1. It wasn't that he played poorly. It's just that you could sit there and go, man, is he getting healthier or less healthy? But the next one to me is Russell Westbrook. 13 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals.
How many turnovers?
Stat line not bad. And only 4 turnovers, which I'm surprised because it felt like he had
100.
way more than that. But if you look at the games he struggled in from bad turnovers, that lead to transition, Houston, Orlando, Boston, we've gone over this. That's the physical defenses are the ones. Tonight was physical, and there still was moments where it was like, man, Russ, that's real inopportune time for a live ball fast break turnover. And, I just thought tonight he looked a little rough.
Yeah, well, Russell Westbrook, I just feel like this is his games. Either this is a good Russell Westbrook game, but I just think that in those matchups, you're keying in on it a bit more because those are contenders. Those are the good teams. Every single one of those turnovers becomes a possession that the other team really does punish you with. I feel like he competed, as he always does, extremely hard in this game. It's not his fault that he was out there. Why didn't they put him on McDaniels? They put him on Julius Randle, that mismatch there.
I'm saying, what are they doing?
It's not like it's not like McDaniels is backing you down the entire time, but maybe that was something that he said, I'll try that matchup, or I want that matchup, and I don't know why, but I do think that put him on the wrong foot, and then he's going to try to force the issue. He's going to try to make plays, so those turnovers are going to come. This is a good physical defense. I wish that he had the ball in his hands a bit more, because that would have put Jamal off of Edwards, who was just pressing him the entire time. So, like, you have to use your, like, strengths in these type of matchups of Westbrook. If you're going to be out there, you're going to be the primary ball handler to try to get other people going. So you have to not take those same type of chances, not try to make those happen, but be a traditional point guard in these games too. So his game has to adapt on these.
Yeah, I was hoping to see Russell Westbrook be more assertive and be the one more often than not, because this was one change, obviously, you could look to that the Nuggets made after being out physical against the Minnesota Timberwolves and seeing Jamal Murray get just worn down by full court pressure. Seeing Russell Westbrook be the guy that brings it up more often than not, so that you don't have to worry about that with Jamal Murray. But Jamal Murray went off today, and Russell Westbrook was just kind of weird and out of place and became a spot-up shooter, which is the worst thing you want from Russell Westbrook. And just sloppy, like you said. Like, just throwing. There were a couple. I mean, just in general, like, the Nuggets were like, "What are you doing?" God, this playing in the afternoon. Apparently, that's your kryptonite.
Well, I think because it turned into a Jamal game, we didn't really get the Westbrook-Jokic duo at all.
This felt like the first time in a while that it was a Jamal game and Russ wasn't good off of Jamal.
Right.
Usually they've found a rhythm there.
And like Russ didn't have the ball in his hands as much, and you didn't get that two-man action with him and Jokic nearly as much as we have in this recent stretch the last month or so. But I mean, overall, like, the turnovers were a huge story for Denver. Minnesota had, I think it was like 37 points off turnovers.
Denver did. Minnesota only had 17, kind of surprisingly.
What?
I know. At least that's how ESPN had it.
Minnesota had 37 points off turnovers.
So they have them backwards then.
Yeah. Minnesota had 37 points off,
and
they was out running.
ESPN is showing 37 points for Denver off turnovers.
That can't be right.
So you think it was switched?
That can't be right.
We got to take a break. Let's finish up.
The length and, like, we know Minnesota has length. They turned the Nuggets over a lot.
Length and physicality. Let's take a break. We'll continue this conversation on the other side. We also have some guests in the house.
Guys, shout out to Mando. Mando is a men's deodorant brand hyper-focused on keeping every aspect of a man's body smelling fresh and clean. Mando, they have some awesome scents to keep you smelling good.
Wish we could put Mando on this game.
Bourbon Leather, Cloverwoods, Mount Fuji, Pro Sport. Mando was developed by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal BO was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. It's a whole body deodorant, safe to use anywhere on your body. You can choose from a variety of fresh scents as well. Bourbon Leather, Cloverwoods, Mount Fuji, Pro Sport, clinically proven to control odor better than a shower with soap alone. 12 hours after a shower, you're going to be smelling great with Mando. Mando Starter Pack, the perfect thing for new customers, comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, and free shipping. You can get $5 off a starter pack with the code DNVR. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack. Use the code DNVR at shopmando.com. That's shopmando.com. Use the code DNVR, shopmando.com. Tell them we sent you. Smell fresher, stay drier, boost your confidence from head to toe with Mando.
I think it's safe to say that today was the Nuggets grundle that they presented to us.
Definitely not their munder.
Yeah, dude. There's the dog days. There's the grundle right in between the All-Star break and.
Also, shout out to our friends over at Breckenridge Brewery, Breck Brew, of course. It's the official craft beer of DNVR. And they have a really cool giveaway going on. The Breck Brew Ice Deck giveaway, March 28th versus the St. Louis Blues. If you want to go to an Avs game, you can get 2 VIP tickets on the glass. Complimentary food and drink. This is March 28th versus St. Louis. It's a true VIP experience. You got a table right on the glass. Only a couple tables there. Super exclusive. You can go to breckbrew.com/ice deck to enter. The link will be in our show notes as well. This is a giveaway you absolutely want to win if you're an Avs fan, just if you're a sports fan. a really cool exclusive experience. 2 VIP tickets, March 28th versus St. Louis. On the glass, free food and drink, courtesy of Breck Brew. Check Breck Brew out, the official craft beer DNVR. Check out their beer locator if you want to get Breck Brew at breckbrew.com. And sign up for that giveaway, breckbrew.com/icedeck. 2 VIP tickets, March 28th versus St. Louis. The link is in our show notes.
Alrighty, we are back here. Segment 2. The next thing, or segment 3. The next thing.
Oh, God.
Sorry, I was reading a stat.
Harrison thought it was Sunday, so I mean,
Yeah, whatever day it is.
we're disoriented.
Those are really the things that were concerning to me. The rest of here is just like, I mean, Jokic had a really bad game.
Are we concerned about Jokic? You go first, Adam.
No. Just kind of and he was kind of a moody game, to be honest, from Jokic. It almost felt a little moody.
That was Freudian slip. It was a moody game from me as well.
Did I say from D-Lane?
You said from you.
I said from Jokic.
Well, but then you corrected yourself. It was a moody game from
You
Nikola
seem
Jokic.
a little moody, not going to lie.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if somebody would give me a light, I can finally calm my nerves. Listen, this was a terrible game from Nikola Jokic from an effort standpoint. And, he probably had to work pretty hard today. He probably had to, in between Randall and...
you know what I think happened?
Let's hear it. Yeah, I do too. I do too.
Afternoon game.
I do too.
He's in town with his old good buddy Tim Conley. I think Tim's like, "Hey man, what are you doing?" He's like, "I got to the hotel kind of late." He's like, "No, let's go out for drinks. What are we doing? Let's go out for drinks. We never get to see each other."
Nothing flows.
Conley had him out till 6 a.m.
Nothing flows like Gracia through the streets of Minneapolis because everything else is frozen, and that's like 100%
Tim
alcohol.
Connolly personally funded a Serbian bar/restaurant
No, I'll tell you
just for games against the Nuggets.
I'll tell you the actual conspiracy is that Jokic is like having a great season. No one's paying attention. He's like, "Oh, everyone's paying attention." That's what he does.
Yeah.
He's like tanking. He's pre-tanking. He's just like, Jokic, why do you have to be so good so that if you have a normal game, it makes us so despondent?
Oh, and he came out and dominated the first quarter, so everyone knew he could. He had to come out and be like, "Here's 13. Gobert doesn't bother me at all, but I'm shutting it down."
Yeah, that was full-on bad effort. It was the defense, really, for me. It was both sides, really, but it was the defense. Like, he's not trying. It was truly a cone drill game where guys are just running by him. They know that he's not going to contest them at the rim, and then they're just finishing. Rudy Gobert, he felt good. He's getting dunks. He's getting finishes around the rim. Guards are going by him. And it was like one of those, like, protest type of games where he didn't even shoot for a long time also. He started out so hot and then just decided to not get involved in the same type of ways. And you don't see that. This was like an uncharacteristic game from Jokic. 3 rebounds for an entire game.
That's crazy.
7 turnovers. And it wasn't like there wasn't rebounds out there. Gobert grabbed a lot of rebounds. Like Julius Randle's grabbing rebounds. Like, we just see a lot more from Jokic on that end of the floor, like at least in those areas. But like it was the turnovers. A lot of them were careless. Just not there for him. I expect him to respond, like really respond.
You're so brave on this show.
I try, man. I try to say things that other people aren't thinking. I expect Jokic to have a good game next week.
Dev is so brave. I'm so proud
What
of
a
you.
take.
I'm so proud of you.
Let's talk about Jamal's night. 25 points, 5 assists, 2 rebounds. This was statistically a great game. 3 of 5, 10 of 16. And I actually thought he has a confidence in his jumper and different things. And yet there's still something, minus 23, almost a game high. There's still something left wanting from it. But I don't want to be too hard on Jamal because we want Jamal scoring like this. How do you evaluate his game tonight?
I mean, individually, he played a good game.
Yeah.
Especially on the offensive end. I mean, his shot looked good. Timberwolves are a team that has given him a lot of trouble. Just their defense, Edwards, McDaniels, Alexander Walker. And I mean, if you're just looking up and down the box score, he had the best individual offensive game of anybody on the Nuggets. So you got to be pretty happy with his effort. I mean, he looked pretty quick. He was getting to his spots. He was getting to the rim. Some nice finishes. He looked confident. So I thought he played well.
Yeah, he showed up. He responded in this game. This was a good Jamal game of like, I'm going to just play my game. I'm going to play hard the entire time. Anthony Edwards, he was pressing him and trying to give him different looks. And Jamal was like, okay, I'm going to just get this switch or I'm going to try to attack and get downhill. And then also he had the 3-ball like that he dropped too. He went 3 of 5 from beyond the arc. So offensively, he was great. He was playing. You cannot be mad at Jamal in this. I do think that when Jamal starts cooking or gets going, it does. And this is not on Jamal. Like, I do think that they need to find ways of, like, other people can eat too, and other people need to show up as well when he has good games, because it just seems like it's either this or that. And it needs to be a little bit more of cohesion and everybody being on the same page. So, like, I think the Nuggets have to find something there. But Jamal, I liked it. He looked good. He responded against Minnesota, who really gives him issues scoring. And early on, it was just him and Jokic at one point in time. The only ones shooting the ball.
Yeah. I mean, like, really, only silver lining for the game is that the backness continues. At least the physical.
Physically, he looks good.
That's all I mean. Like, you just be like, okay, Jamal still physically looks good. So that's at least a worry that you can remove from all the others, but then add new worries that the Nuggets are possibly not tough enough to take on a team that is still somehow built to beat them.
And even Jamal, like, because again, he handled it well tonight, but there's one possession that really sticks in my mind. Anthony Edwards is pressuring him full court, and rather than drop it off to Jokic, he almost like calls for the high ball screen, goes around it, and it was almost like the pressure. Jamal was like, all right, you think that bothers me?
I know.
And he pressed for it, misses a shot, gave some fast break layup the other way, and it was one of those ones where you're kind of like, did he get suckered? One of the reasons you pressure a guy is to speed up the decision making and make them, and he kind of played right into it. Not again, I don't think it happened all game, but tonight that possession stood out to me. The other thing I want to talk about here in this block 3, I know I'm the Peyton Watson guy because I'm just such a believer. He had 3 blocks and a steal tonight. 4 stocks off the bench. That's, again, special. That's like good stuff. 18 minutes to me, I don't understand it. You give up 133 points.
I know.
You give up 133, but like when we say like Anthony Edwards does whatever he wants, I'd love to see a game where you say, all right, well, why don't we try a different defender on him? Why don't we give an extended run there? The Nuggets, when he was on the court tonight, had a 113 defensive rating in his 18 minutes. That's good. That's better than Denver's season average. That's a good defensive rating, which means in the, what would that be, 30 remaining minutes, they got absolutely demolished because their defensive rating tonight was 134. So in the minutes he wasn't on the court, they must have had a 160 defensive rating. And part of me looks at it and goes, his best game came last year, third to last game against the Timberwolves, a winner-take-all for the 1-seed game. And he dominated. I think he had 6 blocks in that game. Dominated Naz Reid, made a huge impact. Right. You go to the playoffs, and it's like, well, we can't play him. And I'm sitting there going, well, he just played him and played great. You go to this matchup, and he plays 18, and I go, I just don't know what more you want. You want the 4 stocks. The offense is rough, but you lost by 30 tonight. So I just wish that Denver would go to that a little bit more and say, like, you play Julian Strawther the same amount of minutes tonight because he's your offensive guy. He had 2 points.
Yeah.
Peyton Watson outscored the offensive guy and gave you 4 stocks. I really, really, really think Denver needs him in the playoffs because you can't have games where you give up 133 to a bad offense.
It's crazy that I only played 18 minutes. And, like, you needed defense for most of this game. You were down, but, like, you weren't stopping them. The Nuggets defense didn't improve as this game
40 points in the first quarter. Adjust. It's like time to adjust. Got to get stops.
I mean, I wouldn't have been mad if, they started him over an MPJ to open the second half or something like that.
Because he was struggling
you
bad.
You just don't see NBA teams do that, but I wouldn't have minded that. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy he only played 18 minutes. It's wild.
Yeah, he deserved those minutes too. Like, he's actually out there trying to make things happen.
And it seemed like he was pretty good today.
The effort is there. He's doing things. He blocked Julius Randle at the rim.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable.
That was such a good dunk. Or a good block.
And then they give up a rebound and somebody else scores. And that's a lot of his plays where he is trying to make that extra thing happen. And then there's not much more of that alongside him. And it's because there's not a lot of practice with him on that. They don't have guys that are making those type of blocks. They don't have guys that are like defensive minded that are, just owning in on that where it's like, okay, I'm going to have him focus on that, and then I'm going to do, the extra. I'm grabbing the rebounds. I'm playing hard alongside that. And you're not going to get there unless you play him more with the starters for one, but also just more minutes. 18 minutes in this game, in a game that we all feel like he played good. Michael Porter Jr. gets 30 minutes. He clearly did not have it. He clearly was not playing well because I was thinking about, like, where does those minutes come from? It comes from the guy that's not playing well. It comes from the guy that has a mismatch on the other end where it's like, okay, Russell Westbrook, we're going to put you with the second unit. We're going to put Peyton there to just try to just adjust. if you want some offense and defense. I feel like there should be like more creative ways to get him into this like lineup and playing a lot more than he is.
It's crazy. He has more than twice as many blocks as the next highest guy.
Wow.
For the Nuggets.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
More than twice. And he's playing, what, 16 minutes a game? 17 minutes a game?
Fewer minutes than everybody in the top 6 in block. So, I mean, it's just what he does. It's a specialty, and honestly, the Nuggets need it.
Yeah.
They need the rim protection. I mean, they need the length, especially against a team like this.
Yeah, I mean, this is like goes back to my initial point. Like, I didn't like what I saw out of the coaching staff tonight. I didn't think that they learned anything in this game other than they are still smaller than the Timberwolves. Then they didn't try anything to see if they could, figure out how to make up for that. But so that sucked. That was just kind of a wasted effort by everybody involved, including me.
Wasted effort. What a waste of a day.
Dude, what a wasted afternoon.
Christian Braun, 4 of 8, 10 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. I feel like he's a battering ram in transition. It really is crazy how much of a specialty transition scoring is. He's so good at going straight through you and then finishing tough touch shots. Yeah. But it's weird because you don't think of him as a guy with like great touch. But he has great touch in transition somehow.
Well, he's unstoppable. Not in the way that like a linebacker. He's just like
he's a fullback.
But he doesn't bowl everybody over. You can't knock him back, and he doesn't stop. Like he just keeps going at you, and then it's awesome. And there's a lot of times where other players, you look at them, and you're like, oh, here comes a stupid floater or something, and like Christian Braun somehow makes it to the rim every single time.
But not an Anthony Edwards matchup. That's defensively, unfortunately.
They don't have an answer for him.
Yeah, but I think that's where I think this was like not a bad Christian Braun game. I feel like he should have played more. I'm a bit shocked he only played 26 minutes in this, but I think a lot of it goes to the matchup with Anthony Edwards. But if it's not Anthony Edwards, who is it? Because you need him in these games, and I feel like defensively, the only highlights you saw was from Peyton Watson. And also, that's what it feels like it's been for quite some time now, where it's now that Peyton Watson is the best defender on the team. So if it's not that, then Christian Braun, is he not a defender only anymore? Like, is he having to explore his game a lot more? I don't know. I just wish that they had two guys that were just, I'm all defense. I'm focused on that. I'm going to try to make a stop there because that's where the bleeding is when it comes to the Nuggets. Even in these wins, they're letting other teams get going. They're letting, people score a ton of points on them that it's like, okay, I have to adjust my game if I want to make this team, like turn this team into a contender. And that's what it is with Christian Braun. And I think that it's a mindset of what the Nuggets want from him and need from him. But I do wish that there was more emphasis on defense with this group right now. And it starts with Christian Braun.
Can I kick you guys off now?
Yes, I don't want to talk about this game for another second.
Oh, man, please don't kick me off.
Can I tell you my big takeaway from this game?
Yeah.
What game? Who cares? Just move on.
Nuggets have Chicago coming up on Monday. We're going to welcome in some guests here from out of town. You'll never guess where from.
Come on in here.
You'll never guess where our special guests are from here as we welcome them onto the show.
Not from a close place.
I won't give you a hint. I'll just
G'day.
Well, there you go. You might have guessed it. Introduce everybody for our audience here.
My name's Joel Armitage, not Josh Barnett. Joel Armitage.
Josh Barnett from down under.
Joel Armitage from down under, and this is my son, Bo.
G'day.
What's up, Bo? Pull the mic in nice and close for you here so it picks you up. So you guys are in town from Australia.
Yeah, we are. And we actually feel like we're in the winner's lounge now. So I listen to you guys.
Well,
I listen to you guys
appreciate it.
every day. And
now I feel better.
came to the bar, was so pumped to be here, and just coming up and listening to you, I actually am so pumped. So thanks for having me on.
If you are pumped now, you're a real one.
Yeah,
You know what
I am a real one.
You're a real one if you're excited after that
Yeah.
game. Just give us your Red Hawk Roofing big takeaway from this one.
I'm going to speak on behalf of Australia and the world. Michael Porter Jr., my 13-year-old son, was like, Dad, he's soft. He is soft.
Yeah.
Like, something needs to be done to get the guy. Like, I don't know what we need to do, but he just doesn't look like he sweats. I want guys out there. As an Aussie, we love the guys that just get in there, go hard. The Duvalier, the annoying.
Yeah.
Christian Braun's kind of there. Westbrook's there. But
I'll say this. I don't think it's a plays hard thing. It's some guys love physicality and some guys don't. And I just think his style of basketball is, the more you rough him up, the more he's kind of like off his own rhythm. So
yeah.
So what about you, Bo? What's your big takeaway? Red Hawk Roofing.
I don't know. I think Peyton Watson was very good. Good defense, but the rest of the team was pretty poor defense.
Just him.
Yeah.
He was the only one.
I mean, that might be a good observation. Yeah.
We were at the game 2 nights ago. That's the first game, obviously, that Bo's been to and I've been to. And Peyton Watson, both of my boys came out of there and like, Peyton Watson is my favourite player.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like his big blocks and diving on the ground, around the back to DeAndre.
It was nice.
Oh, the boys loved him.
Well, he's also just a great guy to watch live.
Yeah.
Like when you watch him in person, you could just like, you have a different appreciation for how much ground he covers on some of these blocks and stuff.
With him, I just feel like there is a breakout in there, you know. And I like Julian Strawther. I just, my thing is, if I project forward, I'm like, I just don't know if Strawther's going to be able to go through a whole playoff, 4 rounds, you win a title. I would be skeptical, and it's not even his fault. Few players are able by year 2 to contribute on that stage. Peyton Watson is different to me, where I can see it. I can see that there is this talent that if he gets a runway to do it, I think we'd all be impressed and surprised. And the defense he already is at is something Denver needs. So I really am hoping and praying that he gets an extended look down the stretch here, because I think the Nuggets could use it. But here's a question I'll ask you, then we'll get to Super Chats. So they lose this game. Beat Sacramento on the second night of a back-to-back. They're at home. That's a B+ win. It's not an A win. It's a B+ win. Philadelphia, that's whatever win. That was an odd gimme. Orlando, what's that?
Sorry, just one thing there. I'm going to say a B win because what's Trey Lyles?
Yeah.
How was Trey Lyles? I had a Kings guy beside me. I'm like, does Trey Lyles normally play this much?
He's their backup center. He's their backup center. He does.
You're downgrading it because Trey Lyles
Because Trey Lyles played
much.
so much.
Okay.
He was a bench
but
player.
you know what?
He's a bench player for us, and then he plays so much for them.
But
it's
he's-
like
the Nuggets were
it's
up
like
25.
the Lakers trying to claim that they're so good, and they're talking up guys that played like Vander's out. Whatever. But I'm like,
you're like, all right.
mate, he's playing. He didn't even get a minute for us.
I'm gonna stick with B+.
I'm also a little surprised Trey Lyles plays
Yeah.
this much.
I'm going to stick with B+ because they were up 25 going into the fourth. I know they blew
Yeah.
it a little bit. That was a good win. Philadelphia, whatever. Orlando, whatever. They've been banged up. They've lost a million in a row. Miami, they're a disaster. Lost to Houston. 2 wins against Dallas, B+ again. B+. Those were good ones, even though they didn't have Luka. That's tough. Brooklyn, whatever. Clippers, if you remember, didn't play their guy. That's a B. Denver doesn't have an A win. San Antonio before that. Atlanta, Utah, Detroit. Those are good wins. They're good. I'm not trying to discount them. Tonight was a chance for an A win. And they just don't have an A win. And that, like an A+ or an A win. And tonight would have been. So, how do you factor that in? Because I do think we should be riding the high. 28-17. They've stabilized. They've been riding good. But they don't have a signature win yet in this run.
The reason it's so demoralising tonight is because they were right on that. If they had won, they would have been right there with Houston and Memphis and would have been in second or
Yeah, the
right
standings,
there. So
yeah.
that's the reason it's so demoralising. But it's also just such a kick in the teeth because you've got these guys that are playing well, and I will say Jamal Murray is back.
Okay, all right. He'll say
Let's
it.
go, Kel. Fire it up. Fire it up.
He is back.
All right, well,
And,
I don't know if we can fire it up on a 30-point loss.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
he
know.
is back. And why do they not, at the start, it wasn't a blowout. The first quarter was, but it was
Yeah.
close.
Yeah.
And then if you've got a guy that's on, just keep giving it to him. Don't try and pass it off to these guys that are, not hot and expect Russell Westbrook and Christian Braun to be shooting threes. When Jamal Murray, if he's on, just let him go.
Yeah.
You're passing it to Gordon, he's doing fadeaways. That guy should be going towards the ring, not fading away.
Right.
So if he's injured, he's injured. Like Jamal Murray, if he's on, just let him fire it off and put up the 45.
Yeah. He was on today. He had a good game today,
he was
for sure.
those 2 point, I don't know what you guys call them. How far is it when it's just inside 3?
Long
mid-range feet.
Mid-range,
yeah.
mid-range, long mid-range, maybe.
Yeah, just keep letting him shoot those mid-range shots.
Yeah.
If he's on, he's on.
Bo, we usually ask people for a hot take when they come on as a guest. Do you think you can give us a hot take? Can you muster up a take that you kind of believe, but it's kind of spicy?
I don't know.
I think Bo's pragmatic. He seems very pragmatic.
Yeah, I mean,
I think we have a
his
future
Peyton
Harrison Wind
Watson
over
take
here.
was spot on.
Yeah, that was spot on.
I don't know. We
Put him on the spot. Now
Put him
he's
on the
going,
spot. Yeah, Dad's had a few more beers than him, so I'm a bit more talkative.
give us a
I'll
Jokic
say-
take. Something. You could start us off if you
I'll
want.
say one
Joel.
thing is that my wife, Bo's mum, She just hates me watching the Nugs, like, anytime. And to have you guys, like, then afterwards, like, now you're going to listen to a thing? Like,
And now you're on the show.
yeah.
So,
We're sorry. We're sorry.
She will be stoked that we've actually listened to it today, so I don't have to listen to it later or tonight. But Bo will admit this, like, she was donning the Nuggets gear and she's like, this is great. Like, she loved it. So
right.
She
now.
never, gets around in Nuggets gear or anything, but she's been wearing the hats and stuff. So
Yeah,
All right.
and the Murray singlet around town.
Well, there you go, man. I like
and
it.
she's like, the only reason we came to Denver was to watch the Nugs. So we flew into Vancouver to go and see friends, and it's like, we've got to watch a game while we're in North America. And we were looking for a game close to Vancouver. Yeah. Well, we're from Australia. Like,
sure.
So we were looking for games close, couldn't find one. So, I don't know how I got so lucky, but she's like, we might as well fly to Denver and watch a home game. And I was like, all right, let's do it. And she has absolutely loved Colorado.
That's awesome.
Yeah. We were in a shop called I Love Denver today, and like we could have literally set up tent in there. And it was so good.
Hey, quiet, man. Everybody keeps moving here. We don't want the word out too much. We got to keep it a secret. All right, let's get to our super chats. We got a handful of them, a plethora, if you will.
All right, RP43. How about some DJ and Yoke minutes together? Screens,
Man, I don't
dunker
know.
spot on O, rim protection, toughness, and rebounding on D.
I think that perimeter defense would struggle there, but you never. I mean, who knows?
Maximo, the Portuguese dude, still think your team is better than mine this year. Watching some of Nuggets' last 10 games, I believe you guys can beat any team in a 7-game series. All right.
Look, man, I think Nugs are good too, and I don't think the Timberwolves are particularly great, but this matchup, for some reason, is tilted in their direction.
From Flo, and there's only a couple of games in the evening for Europeans in this whole
Oh,
season.
man, what a
It's
bummer.
only one bad loss, but still, we haven't beaten them in a while.
That's so true. This game was for all the Serbs and our fellow Frenchmen.
Maddox completely unmoved by this loss.
I mean, you should be. You should be. I mean, I shouldn't say totally unmoved, but you shouldn't panic.
Nash Sweden convinced me that this roster can go all the way.
It's early. It's January. That's my convincing. It's January, and they're on the upswing.
Yeah, still room to grow.
And we haven't even hit the trade deadline, which we'll see what happens.
Druid trading, my take, I blame Timberwolves for playing so good.
I agree, man.
They did play too
What's
good.
their problem?
Cedric, no Adam, no Dev, no Eric, no Gale, good show vote.
Good show vote. Honestly, he was the best one tonight.
Peter Duck, Wolves were insanely hot shooting-wise, but the defense was bad. What was worse, the horrible, no-good rebounding? Yoke had his lunch ate, sadly.
Their rebounding
Was
was
tough.
tonight. Yoke almost seemed like he was bothered by something. You know what I mean? Like, this
It was
almost felt
weird,
like a
man.
protest game in a weird way. I'm not saying it was.
Other than the first 2 minutes.
Like I said, man, that's what he can do. And then after that, he was like,
How can you possibly even talk one bad word about Joker? Like, he's the
I know, that's
greatest
why I
player.
felt bad in my big takeaway.
Oh my! He's like the Lord.
he
is.
obviously is,
He
but
is.
today was not a great
Yeah,
game.
tonight wasn't great, but
Maximo, Nuggets are still
155
contenders.
defensive rating with Jokic tonight on the
Yeah,
floor.
okay.
155.
yeah, that is okay. All right.
Just have to tighten things up. No perfect teams in the NBA. Just have to peak at the right time. Having the best player in the world will definitely give you a chance.
I agree. Learn from it. Move
Big
on.
Honey, turnovers, lack of defense, getting out rebounded. All of our ugly losses stem from this. And Minnesota knows exactly what to do against us, and it shows.
There is that institutional knowledge, right? A lot of Nuggets coaching staff, front
Yeah.
office, they know the Nuggets very well.
Everyone put your hands above your heads. You all did that more than Jokic did all night. Nothing to do with size. The effort was disgraceful. Not a good effort game. Maximo again. By the way, how does Stephen A. not know who Rob Dillingham is? Dude is a first-round pick from Kentucky. Dude is supposed to know the NBA. Unbelievable. I don't know. Kind of believable. DJ Seahawk, Brewster's right, and he's missed. Get him back, Denver. Does this team take anything personal anymore? Not usually in the regular season, I don't think.
Yeah.
Maximo pulling for Joker to get his 4th MVP. Always a pleasure, gentlemen. Until next time, keep on keeping it real. Stay safe, be healthy, be well.
Thank you, Maximo.
From Peter Duck again. Losing to the T-Wolves is just annoying.
I agree. That's
Edward
the thing.
smiling. Gobert happy. How they play defense yet never get called for fouls. Just so maddening.
Got to give.
Nuggets were pissed off at the refs all game.
Yeah, I agree with that one too, because in Australia we hate the Lakers more than anyone, and Timberwolves are a very, very close second.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a rivalry.
can't stand the T-Wolves and hate the Lakers.
We got to get some watch parties going in Australia for the playoffs, man.
Yeah, we should.
We got to do it.
I mean, what's the Nuggets' record on these afternoon games? Doesn't seem good. Seems like they get smacked every time. No pride today against a team that embarrassed them last year.
That's the part, man. That's the part.
Big Honey needs to be studied how physical Minnesota can get, and refs let them get away with it. Russ gets knocked around by Randall. Murray getting fouled driving to rim.
Yeah, or
Russ
you
was frustrated
Or
the
you
whole
got to
game.
learn how to play the physical games. One of the two.
Goran. We lost this game because of Malone, Joker, MPJ, and Strawther. A bad day at the office.
That's a lot of guys to blame. But I mean, also correct.
I mean, Finch owns Malone and Saunders.
All right.
5-5-5-5-5-ish. Afternoon games are terrible. I'm
Yeah.
just flushing this one down, but I'm not flushing the Zeke minutes down. 120 minutes, 11 seconds down, only 434, 49 seconds till 555.
God.
Can I read this one?
Go
Sure.
for it.
Josh Barnett from Down Under. Jingles gets the W on Australia Day. That bloody hurts.
That's hilarious. Good job.
Jingles, yeah. We're Joe Ingles guys on this show.
We are Joe Ingles guys.
Yeah.
Dante Exum too.
Yeah.
You know Patty Mills too, even though he's a nugget killer. Oh, he's a
Just
nugget
on that
killer.
one, can we, don't want to be too harsh, but could we possibly get Dyson Daniels in for
Man, Dyson Daniels.
someone?
I don't know if
mean,
anybody
that's
can
my
trade.
guy.
I was
You
going
know
to
that's
say
my guy.
MPJ, but
He's
yeah,
so good.
He's great.
Lance Wilson, Randall, super streaky, not worried about the Wolves. Nuggets are still awesome. There we go, Lance.
All right, there we go.
For all of our defenders, he's going left every time.
He really is. Well, pregame, we were like, we should just let Randall beat the Nuggets. And that, I don't know. PN Clarity, can we coin Jokic shot as the mile high shot? I'm guessing the 3/4 court one.
Though the long one, I could see that. I could see that.
Yeah. Papa Flocka.
He tried it again
What's
today,
up?
which was kind of
Yeah.
a bummer.
I know.
You know
he
what I
did.
mean? Sometimes it's like, just you
Same,
had
same
it.
spot too, but what if he hit it?
If we hit it, would have been. I mean, they were down 30. It would have been like whatever. But it also like he could have dribbled further. It was almost like he went to the spot and
Kind of
watched
did.
it.
He kind of went to it.
It was like, yo, come on, man.
Jackson, what happened to DJ? He had 6 rebounds. And then didn't play the second half. Yeah. A little
didn't
surprising,
play.
I thought.
Maybe Malone tinkering, using this one to tinker a little
Yeah.
bit. Is that it, Kale? All right. Everybody, always good to have our guests in town. Sorry you caught such an ugly loser.
We caught the one the other night, and that was
Yeah.
a dream come true. We skied Keystone in the morning and saw one of the greatest games ever. So we were stoked.
Awesome.
Well, at least you got
That's a great
So
day.
stoked, and I'm just stoked to be here. So nice to meet you guys, and
Yeah.
I'll keep listening.
Next time you're out here, you have to make it to the Winners Lounge.
Oh mate, I came here in 1999, and I'm here today. I don't know if I'm gonna. Bo might be back, but yeah, I'll be.
There you go.
I'll be 70 by the time I get back.
All right, everybody, thanks so much for tuning in on a Saturday afternoon. Shout out Europe for staying up late. Everybody hit that like button on the way out. We'll see you on Monday.
We all silly like the mayor.